Hey everyone, welcome back to this series of Mastering the C Programming Language. In today's video, we're going to break down the syntax of a simple C program that outputs hello world to the screen. This is often the first program anyone writes when learning a new programming language. So let's go through each part of the code in full detail. So with me here, I have the code already written. Now let's break it down step by step. As you can see here, I have #include stdio.h. This is a preprocessor directive. It tells the C compiler to include the contents of the stdio.h, which stands for standard input output header. So it's a header file that is included before compiling the program. The #include here is a preprocessor command that tells the compiler to include a specific file or library. So in this case, #include being a preprocessor command telling the compiler to include the standard input output header file, which is in the library. Then stdio.h is, like I said, the standard input output library in C, which contains declarations for input output functions like printf. So as you can see in this program, we included it because we need it to be used on this line of code. If we remove this particular line, you'll see, and then let's save this file and click on run, you see that there'll be an error. As you can see, it's giving us a warning saying implicit declaration of function printf. But when we put it back, #include stdio.h and save this file and then run it again, you see that everything is working just fine. So you need this preprocessor directive in order for you to print out or input functions for input and output functions like printf. Without this, we wouldn't be able to see printf to print to the screen. So essentially this line is saying, hey, before you compile my program, include all the standard input output functionality. Now let's move on to int main. So this is the main function of the program, and it is where execution starts. Int here specifies the return type of the main function. In this case, int means the function will return an integer, which is a number. And then main here is the name of the function. And the empty parentheses indicate that the function takes no arguments in this case. And then the open and close brackets here define the start and the end of the function. So this is where the main function begins, and this is where it ends. So everything inside the braces is part of the main function and will be executed when the program runs. So in C, the main function is where the program starts executing. It's mandatory in every C program. You need to have this main function. Now moving on to our next line, which is printf, hello world. So this line is the line that outputs the hello world to our screen, like as you see here in our console, or rather in our terminal. It is the line that outputs hello world message to the terminal, the screen. And then printf is the function defined in the stdio standard input output header file, and it stands for print formatted, and it outputs whatever is inside the parentheses. As you can see, these two green parentheses, whatever is inside the printf function will print it out. And then we have hello world in quotation marks. This is a string literal, or a sequence of characters inside double quotes. The \n here is a new line character which moves the cursor to the next line after printing the message. So when the message is printed out, the cursor moves to the next line. But without the \n, which stands for new line character, the cursor would stay on the same line after printing hello world, and the next output will be printed right next to it. Let's say we copy this same line of code and we paste it here and save this, Control S. So when I run this, it must print on separate lines. As you can see here, the first hello world is on one line and the second hello world is on another line. But if I remove this new line character symbol and run this code, as you can see here, hello world, they are printed on the same line. So basically it's just a new line character that moves the cursor to the next line after printing the message. This is usually used when you're trying to format your output. Then we have the semicolon. This ends the statement. Every statement in C must be terminated with a semicolon. So basically, this line here tells the computer to print the text hello world to the screen, followed by moving the cursor to the next line. I hope you have understood this, so I can erase this. Then we have return 0. This line tells the operating system that the program has finished successfully. The return keyword here exits the main function and optionally returns a value to the operating system. C returning 0 from main indicates that the program executed successfully. Non-zero return values typically indicate an error or abnormal termination. When the program returns 0, it signals to the operating system that the program finished without any errors. bringing it all together, hashtag include standard input output.h allows us to use printf to output to the screen. And then int main is the starting point of the program. Printf hello world prints hello world followed by a new line. And return 0 exits the program and tells the operating system that the program ran successfully. So that is the basic syntax of a C program. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. I hope this video was helpful, and see you in the next video. So keep learning and happy coding.